Welcome to the Bold Analysis. I want to start by saying thank you very much for being a subscriber and a supporter of this channel. Kindly, if you have not yet subscribed, I can just ask you with humility that kindly subscribe to our channel so that when we produce our videos, our analysis, you'll be getting notifications. I've realized that our notifications have gone down. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnson-Sakaja have decided to stand with the people of Nairobi. And after weeks of drawing daggers with the deputy president, he has decided to stick with the right thing. So the removal of the matatus that was supposed to remove from the CBD area, that circle, it has actually been effected, and there are now orders for them to leave the space. By all indication, the deputy president seems to have lost that battle with the city boss. Sakaja looks a very calm man who does not really engage into much of that scuffle. But you can laud the way he has handled it. Even though he had to be a little bit controversial with the deputy president, but it has been handled not in a manner that Ricky G wanted it to be handled. When it started over in Nyeri, that we made you the president, and so we made you the governor of Nairobi, so you need to listen to us. But after that, there is a chilling revelation of what exactly happened. And when I read this, it actually opened a bit of understanding that moving forward, there are some things that the deputy president should not get himself into. This one being one of them, that he was not even supposed to get himself into it because it does not match his political interests. And when he gets into some, he's seen as overstretching his mandate. This is what is happening. Sometime back, early last year, Githunguri Member of Parliament met and visited, and I think it didn't even start there. When Sakaja was sworn in the county integrated development plan, the issue of decongesting Nairobi has been their top priority, and that plan involved removing matatus from CBD, and it was in conformity, or rather a progression, by making sure that the matatus are moved to the terminal, the other one that is at Luna Park that was constructed by the defunct NMS. So that was going to be effected so that we will decongest the city. And number two, it's also on touching on the BRT that is supposed to be brought into the transport system. So the controversy has been that while transport, it touches on transport, and transport is a defunct function, but planning of city is under the county government of Nairobi. So while it touches on transport, but the planning remains with the county government of Nairobi. Now, one of the circles that was to be affected is that was playing the Githunguri route. And after a bit of when they got nod of that discussion of that plan, Githunguri Member of Parliament, the former journalist Gathonu Mushomba, went to visit Governor Sakaja and pleaded with Governor Sakaja in the interest of the specific circle so that they be not moved there. And according to him, it was in terms of disruption of businesses. I want to look at it critically. This is not coming from the public, from members of the public, or the road users. And the road users could not have had this problem because Githunguri is one area. But this is what it happened. It was after we met Sakaja, and Sakaja promised to address it in some 2 weeks. But after that, I think it took more time, and Sakaja did not talk about it because it was selective application of that policy. And he understood that what happened here is the order was given for them to be evacuated from that place. So what Gathano Mushamba did, he decided to go to Rigathi Gachagua and told Rigathi Gachagua in the interest of that one circle. But in terms of that reporting, this is what went wrong. When Rigathi got it, honestly, the problem was only the specific circle that was playing Githunguri route. But when Rigiji got note of this, he decided to use it, and he tweaked it as if it was affecting even those who are applying the Nyeri, Murang'a, Meru, and the other route. Now, it was taken as full to be a Mount Kenya thing, as if it was affecting all the others. In fact, the other users, or rather the other circles, not all the circles had a problem with it. In fact, the ones that are taking people to Murang'a, to Nyeri, the other areas, most of those people also stay in Nairobi. They also work in Nairobi. And Nairobi is also the city. So in terms of carrying passengers to the other counties, that has never been the problem, because whether it is not the first time. The only challenge is those who are applying the town service. But those who are taking people to Murang'a, to Nyeri, to Laikipia, Kirinyaga, they're not much affected because, wow, they are dealing with clients or the passengers who are planning to go. So when they're going to catch up with the car, or rather with the matatu, is not a problem. But when this thing got into Rigiji's desk, it turned out, and Rigiji decided to use it as a whole Mount Kenya thing. And this is because, of course, a deputy president talking about a specific issue about a circle will not be it. So what was to be a small thing about a circle was actually magnified, or rather amplified, to become a Mount Kenya thing. And from my observation, I think Rigiji decided to use that opportunity. So from that, this thing was a very small thing. I can tell you, it was a very small thing, but it was used successfully for politics. And that's why I'm saying that why, even if it was to be addressed, the DP who sits in cabinet and is in national government maybe will still have, yes, the way to interact with the government, with the county government, because the office of the deputy president is one that is coordinating the working of the county government and the national government. But transport is a devolved function. So maybe Murkomen would have been drawn into this. Remember, even though he has been in charge of transport, he has never commented and never been around this. So if this is something that was to be addressed, then he would have, the DP would have drawn maybe the council, or rather the input from Kipchumba Murkomen. But it did not take that angle. So what I'm actually seeing here is this, that Gachagua got himself into a very murky issue of just protecting individual business interests. And this, the fallacy, or rather the narrative that it was a Mount Kenyan thing, is neither here nor there. Rigathi found himself protecting his friends, his people. This is the truth. So guys, if this was a Mount Kenya thing, then why is it that, okay, if this was a Kiambu or Githunguri thing, then why is it that even the leadership of Kiambu, which is very vocal, by the way, members of parliament from the area, the senator, have never commented, even though this thing is touching between Nairobi County and Kiambu County. Senator of Kiambu, who is a close ally of Gachagua, never commented, or has never commented about this. That's it. His input was not there. Now, the Gema leadership that was actually seen, or whether when this thing was packaged as an influence of business community in the Gema, they never talked about it. They never came and coalesced around Rigathi Gachagua about it. Even other businessmen out from even those who are not in the transport sector, but are also from Mount Kenya, they never coalesced around Rigathi Gachagua. And now, because of that isolation, I think it's why Rigathi lost that war to Sakaja. Apart from the fact that Sakaja also, when it took the tribal angle, Sakaja could easily maneuver his way. Now, the deputy president must be very wary of his UDA camp from Mount Kenya, because the UDA camp there is a camp that wants, and they're rightfully so, they've known that if you want to make your future in future election, Rigathi Gachagua being the person he is, the deputy president might actually micromanage the next, who becomes the next leaders in that region in the interest of his 2032. So there are those who have started now quoting Rigiji, knowing that Rigiji will have an influence in the next election, and probably if he presents a candidate in 2027. Now, those who have already seen that Rigiji stands a very good chance to be the kingpin. That group have now started idolizing him. Now, that aspect of him being idolized will still show, or will still bring a sense of entitlement on his end. And that must be controlled well, because these people will feed you with a lot of toxicity. They will toxify you because they want to make you be their semi-god. And and I can tell you that there are numbers that are very comfortable with their things are, because when Rigathi Gachagua went, the deputy president went to pray in the Mount Kenya, you could see some few. The leaders that went with him were less than 5, if I can count. I think the Kiambu senator, and I think the Nyeri senator, or someone also some 2 leaders from Nyeri, if I'm not wrong. So these people want to coalesce around him because they believe he had at stake. These people could as well misguide you. The other 3 is that attempt to frame Sakaja as a common enemy of Mount Kenya flopped. It flopped because Sakaja got the support of President Ruto. And Ruto went to support Sakaja temporarily for that, because he would want to side with Rigiji, because that narrative was already coming out as a tribal thing. So that's why the president decided to remain with Sakaja. This thing was not likely, because Sakaja even did not attend the Nanyuki retreat. But then, even there, we saw Governor's Caucus going there. The governors from different parts of the country going there. But Sakaja could not get because of that role. So my point here is this: as people want to idolize Rigathi for their own political interests, and people are now trying to position themselves, but I think they should also be very careful, because sometimes you get into very unnecessary fights or things that will just go at the people who are pursuing their individual interests, then going to him. If this thing was a big thing, or as it was made to be, then these circles, of course, we've seen all those circles going to their leaders. You've seen the Nyeri team complaining. And remember, Nyeri team were complaining so much about it, while the senator, who is also a close ally of Rigathi and is from Kiambu, never commented. So guys, that's my take.